Hello everyone, today we would be discussing another problem from Leetcode, and this is problem 3, longest substring without repeating characters. This is given the tag of a medium problem, but I would say it's very easy if you know how, if you understand it, and it has 20,000 likes to it, so it is a famous problem. So let's go ahead and understand what the problem is trying to say. We would be given a string s as input, and we would have to find the length of the longest substring without repeating characters. So if we see the example, this is our input string, and we would have to return the output, which is the length of longest substring without repeating characters. In our example over here, the longest substring that we can think of is ABC, and or maybe BCA. We can take combination of any three, and it would be the highest substring with non-repeating characters. And remember, it should be continuous. It's not like we can take any characters from our input string. So similarly, in the second example, if we are given all alphabets as the same, so the substring without repeating characters would have length 1, which is pretty obvious because every substring apart from that would have a length greater than 1 would have elements which would be repeating. So the answer is B with the length of 1. And similarly in the third example, we see WKE is the longest substring with a length of 3. So before getting into the coding part, I would like to discuss a few concepts of sets in Python and the sliding window technique. So we have two options to solve this. Either we can go with the brute force approach, in which we literally go ahead and check every single substring of our input string and calculate the first of all check if it has any repeating characters or not, and if not, then we can store its length and compare it with the max variable. So this option is not that feasible because it would take a lot of time to compute. Hence we would be using the sliding window technique. What the sliding window technique is that in this, at any instance of time, we would have two variables that would hold a part of our input string. So for example, if we look at this, so this is our sliding window, and in this example that I'm showing right now, the window size is fixed, the size is 3, but how we would be using is we would modify the size of the window based on our characters. So if we get a repeating character, we would change the size of a sliding window, and basically this is how it works. We keep on shifting the window ahead based on our condition, and finally when it reaches the end, we compare the solution and return the value. So apart from that, I would like to discuss sets in Python. So what sets are is basically set is just like any other data structure in Python, but the conditions are that a set is a collection which is unordered. So every time that we print our set, the order might be random, and we can't change it the elements, and it is unindexed, so we can't go to a specific index and return the value. Apart from this, another thing is that duplicates are not allowed, which is a very important feature in sets. So in case we see this example, apple is being repeated, but in a set it would be counted only once. So with all that knowledge, I think we can dive right into the problem. So what we have to do is, first we would be needing two variables for our sliding window. So we will initialize both of them to 0, and after that we would create a count variable. Basically this would be used to store the maximum length of our non-repeating substring. Now we can create a loop in which we would start j, and it would be in range of length of s. So what we have done over here is we would continuously move j forward. So the j is the second or the end of a sliding window. So we need it to constantly increase. Like first j would be at first position or 0th position, then it would go to the first one, then the second one. So this is how basically j would increment, and I would be used to track the lower end or the starting position of a sliding window. So after we have started the loop, so we can check that while the current value at the jth index s of j in substring and I forgot to initialize the set, so we can initialize it like this. So while s of j is in substring, so if we have the current element, or say if j is at this index, so the substring would already hold an a, so it would check that, and what we can do is simply remove substring dot remove s of I, or we can move our initial pointer to the point where the starting point does not have any repeating characters, or it's the elements in our new sliding window are all unique. So once this is done, we can increment I, and this would go on until the lower half or the lower window starting point has reached an element or has crossed the element that is repeating. So once we have that, we can go to substring dot add s of j. We can simply add the new element or the unique element, because it can't be in our list now because we have removed it if s of j in substring. So we simply append s of j, and now we check the value of count. Count is equal to max of count or j minus I plus 1. So finally, when all of this loop runs, we can return count and it would give us the answer. Okay, I think we wrote 1 over here. We should have written I. Yeah, and it's running really well. And so guys, basically what we did was we took two variables that were used to hold the window, and we kept on incrementing or decrementing the size of the window based on the values that we encountered. So first of all, the value of the last ending of the window would continuously increase in every loop iteration, but in case the new element is already present in a string, so we would start removing elements in the string until we reach that element that is already that is being repeated, and we can continue after that. So thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for more Leetcode solutions.